Hello everybody, happy Tuesday and welcome to Bird's Nest Designs. My name is Denise Cox. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada. And today I am really excited to share with you a fun stamping technique using the gorgeous Friends Are Like Seashells stamp set, which I have chosen to be my featured product of the week on my blog. So if you love this stamp set or are curious what I've created with it, head on over to createwithbirdsnest.ca and you'll see projects all week long. So tonight's card is going to showcase a new product that was added to the annual catalog. And you may have missed it because it's kind of tucked away, but it's a gorgeous product that you can use for so many things. And tonight we're going to use it to create a really simple masking technique card. And really for this card, all you need is ink, papers, and stamps. And the addition of a blending brush. So you can use a blending brush, you can use a sponge, you can use a sponge dauber. So you just need something that's going to be able to blend a surface. So the card really takes very little supplies and it's super, super easy. So where's all my people watching? Say hello, let me know you're here. We are live at 5 today and it is August 2nd already. I can't believe this year is just flying by. We are halfway through celebration. And just this morning, Stampin' Up! Has released new items as choices for your free product. So I did post that on my page earlier. Pop on over when the video is done and check that out. There are items that are coming from the annual catalog that you can earn for free with your $60 or $120 order. Hello, Sherry and Suzanne. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so as I was saying, products. Now, one of those products coordinates with the stamps that we're using tonight. Hello, Robin. Okay, so that is super exciting, and hopefully you're going to love the new selections. It's really nice that they've added a few extras for us to choose from. All right, one last thing in regards to celebration I should mention is that the tree lot dies, those adorable, super cute little camper dies, are now sold out. So that and the cards and envelopes, the soft sea foam and pool party are now gone. So, but like I said, they've added new ones, so it's still lots to choose from. Okay, let me flip the camera down to my desk and let's get started to make today's card. Right here we go. Okay, so I wanted to show you, here again is the stamp set that we're going to use, the Friends Are Like Seashells stamp set. It is really, really pretty one. It's got lots of gorgeous sentiments, pretty images. It's really a great one. And I'm going to show it to you in the annual catalog here. You can find it on page 22. $36 for the stamp set here in Canada. And it does have coordinating dies here in the back on page 174. So it coordinates with the Seaside Seashells dies. It also coordinates with, where am I looking here? Oh, right back here. It coordinates with the Seashells 3D embossing folder. This here is one of the items they've added as a free option when you place a $60 order. So you can choose to get the Seashells embossing folder for free. So that's just one of the one of the products that you can grab for free. Now, before I put the catalog away, the masking paper that we're going to talk about tonight is here on page 149 of the catalog, and it's right here, number 9. So it's masking paper. It measures 5 by 7. I'm going to show it to you. You get 12 sheets, and it's $9.75. So that's where that's at if you like the technique that I'm going to show you. Now, this is only one of the things that you can do with masking paper, and this is probably one of the super simple but fun techniques. And as the time goes on, I'm sure I'm going to show you more of this because it's a really great product. So I'm starting with a balmy blue card base, just a typical card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Go ahead and give that a fold, burnish that edge. Oops. Okay. And as we're watching, show me some love. Give me those thumbs up and the hearts. Let me know what you're thinking of what I'm showing you today. I love to see your reactions. Just like if we were in person, it's kind of like oohs and ahs. those hearts and thumbs up. So, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here. The next thing we have is a 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 piece of early espresso. And then I've got a piece of shimmer paper. Now you can use regular paper, but I like the sparkle. I don't know if you can see that on film, but there is built-in shimmer in this shimmery white paper. It's a little bit thicker too. So we're using that, and that's 3 3/4 by 5. And then of course I have an insert for the inside of my card, which is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so here's where the super fun comes in. I'm going to take this piece of masking paper here. It's very thin paper, and this measures 4 by 5 1/4. So it's just slightly bigger than my shimmer paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear it. Okay, I'm just going to tear it right down the center. Now I don't want a straight tear. I do want it to be a little bit of a pattern, a little bit like this. So I've just torn that paper right in half. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the paper off the back, and what's going to happen, if I can find it. So there is a crease line here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Camera's in my way. I can see there. So this is just peeling off. And what you're going to be finding is a sticky page here. Now this is kind of like sticky note stick. So it's not permanent. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place this on the bottom section of this shimmery white paper. Okay, and then I'm going to take the other piece and I'm going to peel that backing off again. Bear with me as I do that. Okay, so I've got the corner started. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of those pieces. So there is the other side. And then I'm going to raise that up here and I'm going to stick that down. Okay, so there's our masking paper. Torn and attached to our shimmer paper onto our work surface. Okay, now using some early espresso and some shaded spruce, I'm going to create some stamped images on here using the Friends Are Like Seashells stamp set. So I'm going to start with this great big beautiful seashell here, inking it up in the early espresso, and then I'm just going to sort of have it stamp. So I'm stamping over top of the masking paper and on my shimmer paper. Okay, so I just want one kind of up there in the corner, and then I'm going to take the starfish. I'm going to do similar. I'm just going to stamp it out here. Okay, and as little as I'm just doing random, and you can see I'm stamping over the masking paper and over the shimmer paper. Now I'm going to take shaded spruce. I'm loving this color lately. I'm using it a ton. And I'm going to take this little seaweed grass foliage image. And I'm going to ink that up, and I'm just going to stamp it kind of a few times there. And then you can ink it up again and just sort of make a bigger cluster here. It's a great stamp set, and I'm loving creating with it all week. Okay, so then we'll do another one like that. So just a few little pieces of the seaweed in there, and I can put the green away for now. And then we'll take this bigger medium-sized seashell. I'll just do some of this. I'm stamping off the edge too. I want this to look really random, just like a piece of designer series paper would be. Okay. And then there's another little shell. There's even more, but this is the one I've chosen. And I'm going to just stamp that one in here as well. Maybe one over here. And I want this to look random, so we'll stamp that there. Oh, that one didn't come out quite. That's okay. I was going to try and over stamp it, but it's okay. For what I'm doing, that's going to work perfectly. And then we've got these cute little dots, and I'm just going to stamp those to kind of fill in a little bit of these spaces. So basically I'm stamping my own kind of like designer series paper, right? My own patterns, picking the images I like and creating something unique. And like you can imagine, the possibilities are endless with this. So there we've got some stamping done. Now I'm not moving anything, and I'm going to take my balmy blue. Remember, this is the same color we used for the card base, which we'll be getting to. And I'm going to take my blending brush after I take the puppy hair off. And I'm going to just, again, if you've watched before, in circular motions, holding the handle back here. Okay. Now, has anybody watching tried this new masking paper, or even maybe done a technique similar to this? Hello, Sonia. Okay, so we've got some balmy blue on here, and I'm just going to get some of the ink, most of the ink, off on my scratch paper because I don't want those really dark spots to show. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to start filling this with blue. And I obviously don't have quite enough ink on there because that's coming out really light. So let's get a bit more here. There, and we'll come in here like this. So you're just going to blend the colors together. Basically just adding this balmy blue in. Oh, thank you so much for sharing the video, Sonia. I really appreciate it. Chances are, if you like stamping videos and watching some card making techniques, some of your friends and family are going to as well. So I do appreciate you sharing the video. Okay, so let's just keep going here. And you can see what's happening. I'm creating, and it's getting darker as I blend. I'm trying not to make you guys seasick with the camera. Okay. Now there is a different technique I did try. Let's try this. So I'm going to use the back side of these dots, and I'm just going to stamp this onto my block. So here's now, that's full of ink. So this is a technique I did watch, and I haven't tried it, but let's give it a whirl. So now that ink is getting on my blending brush, and then we can just go in again. So what I'm trying to do is create a slightly gradient look, darker on the bottom, and a bit lighter here on the top. Okay, a bit more. Oh, I forgot that I had it on that other piece. Okay, it's getting there. A little bit longer. Sometimes it takes, depending on how much ink is in your ink pad and how much gets onto your brush, it just takes a bit of time. But you can see what's happening. I'm creating this beautiful. Okay. So there, we're going to call that done. So we've got this nicely stamped, and if I can find, I've just got a cloth here. I'm just going to give this a wipe because I am going to use this stamp again. Okay. Before we get too far, I'm going to take the inside of my card. So remember, this is my 4 by 5 1/4 insert, and I'm going to stamp this great big beautiful seashell again. So I'm going to stamp this in the early espresso. I'm just going to kind of have that coming off the edge of my card like that. And then I'm going to take my little seashell. I'm just going to kind of tie in. What I'm trying to do is just tie in some of the images from the front of the card into the inside to give this insert some extra love as well, because it's really fun for your recipient to open it up and have more of the beautiful design on the inside. So we'll just stamp some dots. And maybe just to bring in some of that shaded spruce, we'll stamp some of the seaweed in here as well. Like that. And maybe there's some coming in here. Okay, so you can do as much stamping as little as you want. When the stamping's fun like this, then I quite often do a bit more. So once more, I'm just going to get a bit more ink on my blending brush, and I'm just going to blend onto here. So see how nicely that color went on? It does blend a little bit differently on the regular basic white than it does on the shimmer paper. So just keep that in mind. That's why it took a bit longer to get the color showing on that front piece. Okay, so here's our insert. We'll stamp a sentiment here in just a bit, but for now, I'm just going to close the door here. Okay, so for now, we're going to just pull this off. So here's the wow factor. Here's this masking paper at its finest. So I'm just going to start peeling. And as I mentioned, this is not a permanent adhesive. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to lift it off of my paper. There we go. Okay, so now, carefully, I'm going to tear this around off. Oh, and it's, of course, it's sticking there. But that's okay. If it does that, just start from the other end and just start pulling it off from that end. Okay, so there's one side. And then we'll pull this side off. I'm doing it slowly because I don't want it to tear my paper, obviously. Okay, now look at that. Isn't that cool? There's our card front that we created just by using the masking tape and stamping and blending and adding some colors. We've got this beautiful front piece. So now we can go ahead and add a sentiment. So we can put, I mean, there's just gorgeous sentiments in here. So let's use this. I really like, so this is a trick I'll show you guys that I do when I'm designing my cards. So because it's photopolymer, I can see the size. So I'll, you know, if I want to use this sentiment, which I do, I just want to place it there to make sure it's going to fit before I commit to using that one. So it'll fit right in there. So that's great. So I'm going to pull that one off. And then I'll just remove these little dots for now. And we'll get this one on here. And I'm going to use my early espresso. And again, just line that up where you want it. Stamp it down. Okay. And for the inside of the card, I want to stamp another thing here. I'm so happy I found you. So the front of the card is going to say, friends are like seashells, you collect them along the way. And the inside will say, I'm so glad I found you. So perfect card to send to a friend to just brighten their day, say hello, and share your love of stamping and card making with them. Okay, so we'll just stamp that right in the center of the card. Insert, perfect. I do like to do my stamping on the insert first before I attach, because obviously if I mess it up, there's two sides to all the paper, right? So it's a good way to be a little cautious. All right, now let's just assemble this really quick. So onto the espresso, we're going to adhere our beautiful front here that we created. Now, this is my first time doing the blending on the shimmer paper, and I'm gonna share my review of that with you in just a second. So I've got a little comparison, and I want you to vote and tell me which you think looks better, keeping in mind that there is sparkle built into this one, into the shimmer paper. So this is going to go on the inside of our card, like so. I love how the blending just ties that cardstock all together like that. Then we're going to take some stamping dimensionals and put a few on the back here of the espresso. Okay, so once those dimensionals are on, then we're just going to pop this on into the center of the card front. Like so. And there we have our really fun masking technique stamping card and our beautiful insert. So lots of room still to write your greeting and share. So the other thing you could do, now I did say it was just ink, stamp, and paper with a blending brush, but you can also add some of these gorgeous opal rounds. So I'm going to just put a couple of these using my puppy hair all over these. So I'm just going to put a couple down here in the corner by the sentiment. Okay, and I usually like to do everything in an odd number, so 3, 1, 3, or 5. So let's go ahead and put another one up here in the corner. So there's our card. Now this is how it looks done on shimmer paper, okay? And I'd like you to write in the comment whether you like the shimmer or the basic. And then here is what it looks like in the basic white. Okay, so you can see my chair is a little bit different. I used a couple different stamps. And here's my review. I love the sparkle in the shimmer paper, but I love how vibrant the colors came on the basic white. So if it was me and I was to choose between the two, I think I would go with the basic white, just to get that nice, bright, crisp images. But again, I do love the sparkle. You know, I love all my little blings, so I do love the sparkle in this one, but I love the coloring in this one. So that's my video I have to share with you guys tonight. I hope that you enjoyed that and saw something different to try. Maybe add that masking paper to your next order. And don't forget that this Friends Are Like Seashells stamp set has a coordinating embossing folder that you can earn for free when you place a $60 order for the month of August. So thank you all for being here. I did post, as I mentioned earlier, I did post the PDF, I posted it as pictures. I took pictures of the PDF and posted it to my Bird's Nest page so that you guys can see the items that Stampin' Up! Has added to the celebration options from the annual catalog. If you have any questions at all about anything you saw in tonight's video, or anything that you can see in regards to the celebration, or anything Stampin' Up, placing your order, etc., please let me know. I'm always super happy to help you. Thank you for watching along with me, and I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday evening. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll be back next week to share something else with you. Good night.